never, ever heard of someone going out under a truly dark sky and saying, "Oh, that's so ugly. I just never want to see that again." It just doesn't happen.
For me, the experience of looking at a dark night sky is a connection to nature and something that is so much vastly bigger than this planet that I cannot imagine something else that's comparable to that. For a moment, you feel like all of the things that concern us down here on Earth are very small in comparison to this big picture.
I feel like I know the sky. I know the stars, and I recognize them, and I recognize the planets because there shouldn't be a star there.
I just go out of town a little bit, see the Milky Way, feel a little bit of a recharge, and go back to work.
That view of a star-filled sky is inherently inspirational.
For the observatories, of course, it's important to preserve dark skies so you can do research, but really the bigger picture of dark skies is about the value of dark skies and the experiences and the quality of life that it fosters for everybody. As our developments have occurred, we tend to use more light for the same things we used to use less light for, and we tend to light more things than we used to. And nowadays, in the recent 5, 10, 15 years, we're switching to kinds of lights which have greater impacts on the nighttime environment.
We don't have to limit development. It's a very important distinction. It's about the ways that lighting is being used and not that it is being used in the first place.
Over the last 10 years, around the world, our skies have been brightening 10% per year. What we've been doing has not been working.
100 years ago, most people could see the Milky Way from where they live. Today, it's only about 20% of people. The rate of increased artificial light at night is really devastating to our planet.
It's an interesting kind of pollution. It's different than air or water pollution. If you turn off the light, it goes away at the speed of light.
Light pollution impacts us in many different ways.
Light at night is not healthy for our bodies if we aren't reasonable about how we use it.
In addition to medical impacts like the reduction of melatonin production, which negatively affects how we sleep, but also increases our chances of cancer and even diabetes.
Light pollution is changing the part of our world that should be in darkness. So every day needs a night. And the more artificial lights that come on, it changes the quality and type of nocturnal environment that affects people and animals and plants.
You know, most animals are active at night, for example, and that light at night really does disturb them even more than it does for human beings who are naturally diurnal creatures.
It's changing the dynamics in so many ways within the food web that we're just at the beginning of understanding how much could be disrupted with normal animal activity. Animals suddenly perceive the world very differently. Some animals may be attracted to the light. Think about moths that come to a porch light that's on and they're buzzing around and they're so distracted. They're not looking for food, they're not looking for mates. They could completely run out of energy.
Wildlife is really stressed out right now, whether it is temperatures increasing or loss of habitat or their range or their inability to find food, that sort of thing. And light at night is piling on top of that.
It's a compounding problem because then more energy is being used, climate change is getting worse, and then plants and animals have the additional overlapping stressor of climate change and losing the darkness at night.
We're finding effects in pretty much every species that we study. And it's concerning. Every time that we study it, we see something negative that's happening when these species encounter artificial light at night because they evolved in a world that didn't have it.
And so that means where we have good darkness at night in these corridors and in these important wildlife habitats, we need to keep it that way.
Any municipality, city, town can create an outdoor lighting code that enforces good lighting practices. Being a good neighbor by using good lighting that's going on the ground and not up into the sky or across your yard to your neighbor's bedroom is helping that community ethos, but it's also protecting the sky.
Flagstaff really has an awareness and appreciation for dark skies across its culture, which is really a good part of the reason Flagstaff has been so successful at protecting its skies.
It's one of those things that I think, especially if people have that experience together, where they go out and see the night sky, that it transcends differences in religion and culture and national origin and even our politics, and can actually bring us together in ways few other things can.
So we really need to help our communities broadly be aware of the value, beauty, and inspiration that comes from the night. And then when people become aware of that, really it doesn't take much more than being able to look up and see a sky full of stars.
It feels like a gift that we can give by each of us just tweaking the lighting around us, not using our lights at night when we don't need them.
As we lose the night, our children will grow up without that experience of seeing the sky full of stars, wondering if they can go out and touch the stars. And that will have huge impacts for humanity.
Use warm colored lights most of the time outdoors. Amber light, don't use white light. Don't use too much, shield it.
And we know that when we adopt the principles of dark sky friendly lighting, that we get the outcomes that we expect. We've shown that right here in Tucson, that when we make these changes, we can reduce the impact on the nighttime environment.
And it is not fearful. It does not produce a dangerous community. Crime does not go up. The economy is just thriving fine, by the way. And people can have both. You can have the lighting you need, and you can have dark skies.
I think over time, we're going to begin to realize how much more we have to gain if we allow ourselves to be comfortable with having darkness in our environment.
You can darken the sky even in urban areas by 90%, not 9%, 90%. And that's a stunning thing, even to me. In the last 10 years or so, I began to realize this, even though a lot of that is based on my research. Really just to put two and two together to realize, hey, gosh, 90% better. That means the Milky Way comes back in Tempe, in Phoenix, in Glendale.
Never doubt that a committed group of people can make a difference, because in fact, it's the only thing that ever has.
There's a wonderful quote that I often use from an author named Henry Beston. Our fantastic civilization has grown out of touch with many aspects of nature, but with none more completely than with night. With lights and ever more lights, we drive the holiness and beauty of the night back to the forest and the seas.